Mga Migs, welcome to Winnie Luna Nahyal Eduk channel on mathematics and other related topics. For this video, our topic is about ordinary and exact interest given to dates. We would like to extend our gratitude to all our subscribers. Thank you very much for the continued support. And we hope that you also help us disseminate our work to our learners and to interested individuals. Here we go. Now, ordinary and exact interest. If the time is given in terms of days and the interest rate is in percent per year, two types of interest may be used. We have the ordinary and the exact interest. So again, we have to take note that instead of year, what we have in the problem is in terms of days. And by that, we are going to use ordinary and exact interest. And this depends on the agreement between the parties involved. That is the lender and the borrower, because this kind of activity involves two persons. The person borrowing money and the other one, the one giving the money or lending money. Now, ordinary interest assumes 360 days in a year. Then exact interest uses 365 days in a year. Now, for the formula, for the ordinary interest, we have principal times the rate times the quantity, number of days, over 360 days. And take note that in ordinary interest, this kind of activity considers every month as having 30 days. And the other one is the exact interest. So you have the formula, principal times the rate times the quantity, days, the number of days, then divided by 365. Where I sub O denotes ordinary interest, I mentioned this already, and I sub E indicates exact interest. And it is given here that ordinary interest is greater than the exact interest. So if this is the case, the borrower and the one lending money should have an understanding of the formula to use. Because if I'm the borrower, I should prefer using the exact interest, whereas the lender would like to use the ordinary interest, because in this particular formulas, we can say that the smaller the denominator in the quantity, the bigger the value. So this is why, this is the reason that it is already given that ordinary interest is greater than exact interest. Now let's have an illustration. Find the ordinary and exact interest on 12,000 pesos at 4% for 120 days. So in this problem, the number of days is already given. We have also the interest rate, which is 4%, and the capital, that is 12%. So let's see what we get. Okay, so required the ordinary interest and the exact interest. For the solution, so we have ordinary interest, principal times the rate times D, which is the number of days, divided by 360. So we substitute the capital by we substituted P by 12,000, then the rate, which is 4%, that is in decimal 0.04. Then the number of days is already given, which is 120. So 120 over 360. So you will get 160. So this is the interest of 12,000 at 4% for 120 days. So that is equivalent to 4 months for the ordinary interest. 4 months because 120. There are 30 days for every month. That is the consideration in using the ordinary simple interest. Now for the exact interest, so again, the principal is substituted by 12,000, then the rate substituted by 4%, then D, the number of days we have 120, then our denominator, because this is exact 365, we get 157.20. So there is a difference. The ordinary interest is uh, higher or greater than the exact exact interest. So there's a difference of 2 pesos and 30 cents, 20 cents in this particular example. Okay. Now, let's have finding the exact time and approximate time between two dates. When we say exact, so we count the number of days in a month. Then when we say approximate time, we just consider every month as having 30 days. Okay, so this is what we have here. To compute a given interest where time is expressed in dates, the exact time is calculated using 365 days for 1 year and 366 days for leap year, while the approximate time considers only 360 days, or as what I said earlier, 30 days every month. Let's have an illustration. Find the approximate number of days from March 15, 2010 to July 22, 2011. So this is approximate number, approximate. So 30 days for every month. So use the format year, month, day. So for March 15, 2010, the year is 2010. March is 3, the third month of the year, and the day here is 15. Then for July 2011, you have 2011. July is the seventh month of the year, and 22. So we have to subtract March 15 from July 22, 2011. Let us use the table if there's an available one. Okay, here you can see 2011, 07, 22, 10, 03, 15. So we subtract the days, 22 divided minus 15, we got is 7 minus 3, that is 4 or 4 months. Then 2011 minus 2010, that is 1 year. So this is approximate or ordinary 1 year. So 12 months times 30, that is 360. Then 4 months times 30, that is 120 days. 22 minus 15, 7 days. So add them all, 360 plus 120, that is 480, plus 7, that is 487 days. So that is the approximate number of days from March 15, 2010 to July 22, 2011. Next, find the exact time from June 24, 2001 to March 15, 2002. So exact time, meaning to say, we're gonna determine the exact number of days. So in this problem, we have to list down the months with the corresponding number of days. So we have to start June 24. Since the day is 24, meaning to say 30 days has September, April, June. So there are 30 days in June. So 30 minus 24. So you only have 6 days in June. Then July, you have 31 days. August, 31 days. September, 30 days. October, 31 days. November, 30 days. December 2001, 31 days. Then January 2002, 31 days. February, 28 days because it's not a leap year. 2002 is not a multiple of 4. Then March has only 15 days because the maturity date is March 15, 2002. So we have to take the sum of the number of days of the listed months. You get 264 days in all. So from June 24, 2001 to March 15, 2002, we have 264 days. This is the exact or exact number of days from June 24, 2001 to March 15, 2002. Our bankers have also devised more options to attract our borrowers. They have the rules. When the time is given between two dates, another way of computing interest is by means of four methods. The first method is ordinary interest equals principal times rate times actual number of days divided by 360. So actual number of days, we are counting or getting the sum, the corresponding number of days for every month. So here, the divisor for the actual number of days is 360. Then the second one, still ordinary interest, but we have to use the approximate number of days in which every month has 30 days. So that's approximate number of days or ordinary number of days. Then the third one, we have the exact interest, but the divisor here is 365 because that is exact interest, but we have also the actual number of days. So the same in number one, no? Actual number of days. Then the fourth one, exact interest, we're using the approximate number of days. So the same as in number two. But the difference between the ordinary and the exact interest is that the divisor of the actual number of days. For the ordinary, be it actual or approximate number of days, our divisor of the given days is 360. For the exact interest, be it actual number of days or approximate number of days, our divisor is 365. Okay, let's have an illustration of the use of the banker's rule. Okay, find the interest on 10,000 pesos at 6% simple interest from July 15, 2001 to October 20, 2002. So we are going to use the banker's rule. Okay, so in our solution, we have to determine first the approximate and actual number of days between the given dates. First, we have to get the approximate number of days. So we have to follow the format year, month, day. So for October 20, 2002, you have 2002, 10, 20, then July 15, 2001. So 2001, 7, 15. So 2002 minus 2001, that is 1. 10 minus 7, that is 3. 20 minus 15 is 5. So 1 times 360, 360. 3 times 30, that is 3 times 30, that is 90. 360 plus 90, that is 450, plus 5, that is 455. So this is the number of approximate days from October 20, 2000, from July 15, 2001 to October 20, 2002. Then for the actual number of days, from July 15, 2001 to December 2001, so we have 365 minus 196 days, or that is equal to 169 days. Then from January 2002 to October 20, 2002, that is equivalent to 293 days, so a total of 462 days. So these are the actual and approximate number of days that we are going to use in using the bunkers rule. Now, let's have the solution for the ordinary interest in which we have the, what's this? 462 is the actual number of days. Okay, so we have 770. Then ordinary interest using approximate, you have 758. Then for the exact interest, we get, this is 462. So this is the actual number of days from July 15, 2001 to October 20, 2002. We get 759.45. Then the last one, exact interest using the approximate number of days or ordinary number of days, we have 747.95. Okay, so we see here for the first two, for the ordinary interest, let's get what we have from the solutions. For the actual number of days, if actual number of days, ordinary, okay, actual number of days, then ordinary, simple interest, you see that the approximate number of days in the ordinary simple interest is lesser than the ordinary interest in which the actual number of days is used. Okay, it's greater. For the exact interest, we also notice that using the approximate number of the actual number of days, the exact interest is greater than the other one, the exact interest in which the number of days that is considered, the number of days is approximate or ordinary. Okay, so in both cases, in ordinary interest, using the actual number of days is preferable if you are the one lending money, because it is the interest that you will get is a bit higher compared to ordinary interest in which we are using the ordinary number of days. The same thing also happens in the exact interest in which the actual number of days is used. You have a greater interest compared to exact interest using only the ordinary number of days. So we should know the calculations here, because if ever you are going to borrow money, you know already the computation of the interest, be it ordinary or exact. Okay, mga migs, I hope you learned something from our video. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.